Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. This is another episode of True Crime in the Morning. Today we are looking at the Amanda Nenigar case. She had recently gone missing, I believe, February 28th. She's 26 years old from Blythe, California, just over the Arizona border, about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at currently. So if you guys could share this video, get that story out there as much as you can. And if we do have any family members in the chat, I don't want you to feel pressured to call in. We're more focused on making sure we get the facts right. So if you hear us getting any of the information incorrect, if there's updated information, we just really want to make sure we're getting the correct info out there. I think that's the most important thing. So good to have you in, Crystal. We look forward to receiving your input. You as well, Nicole Garcia. And welcome in everybody else. We're going to get going here in just a few moments. I want to make sure we give everybody an opportunity to join the live stream. Okay. Some images of Amanda that are currently, I think most of them come from her Facebook, but they seem to be circulating a lot of the media outlets at the time or at the moment. Sorry. Welcome in. Good to see you, Ziggy, Jerry, Farmer, V. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you, Beach Fairy, Hathers, Solar Chef Steph, Brad from Outside of the Grid, another great podcast. Good to have you here in the chat, Brad. Welcome in, Sensei. So I think we'll start with just a quick overview. We'll show a few media clips that have been reported about her disappearance. There's not a whole lot out there, so I think it's important that the family, if you're out there, just put as much information and detail as you can. For instance, the time of the 911 call looks like was between 9 and 10 a.m. I don't know if that was even mentioned in any of the articles that I read. On Gray Hughes, there was talk of footprints, people following footprints that were verified to belong to Amanda. So I think that's important. Where did those footprints lead? What was that path? How far did they go? Did the dogs track any scent in that area? Because in my opinion, it looks like she may have made it to the road there. So another question would be, who's coming and going? It's about a 5-mile walk from where her coordinates were that she provided to law enforcement to the closest road. So she had a good view. She was very smart to climb up to that peak to get a good view of where she was. So she seemed to be in good health at the moment. She seemed to be coherent. I mean, she gave law enforcement everything they needed to find her. She didn't just say, okay, well, I better start walking and then pick a random direction. No, she picked up the highest point that she could find that looked, from my understanding, like she could actually get up it, right? And she was no longer wearing sandals, I believe. I think she was wearing black Vans. See, and these are the details that I just wanted to make sure that we're getting correct. But she knew to get to a high vantage point, get a good look at her surroundings. So she knew at least what direction she wanted to go. So she may have waited a while for law enforcement to come, but from that vantage point, I think she knew, hey, I need to go back the way I came. mother of 2, and she has a whole lot of people who are missing her right now. We are going to try to get out there possibly Wednesday with the kids and everything and schedules. It's just hard. It's about a 3-hour drive for us, but we're going to do our best. Good to see you, Vertigo. Doris, welcome in. I think this is the most recent photo here. I think this was shared by her sister on the Facebook group. So if you guys want to join that, I will have the link for you. I think the link is in the description. So if you guys want to join up and help, I think it would be great to have the sleuth crew all over this case. I mean, this is typically the type of missing persons case and mystery that we want to help with. I mean, what happened to her? People don't just vanish. How many times do we have to continue to say that? We know there's either mental health, self-inflicted issues, or somebody abducted them. They don't just vanish. Welcome in, Amelia. Okay, so let me play a quick video. This will give you the rundown on what's going on. It has parts of a 911 call. There's only small bits and pieces, but I think we may have a lot of the information gathered already. But let's take a look here.
A missing woman, 26-year-old Amanda Nenigar. She was reported missing February 28th and last seen near the Arizona, California, right by Blythe. Well, for the first time, we're hearing a 911 call she made the day before, asking for help after her car got stuck.
I just want to make sure, can you guys hear that video clearly? If not, make sure you tell me right away in the chat. Thank you.
Stuck in a ditch.
Her car was found days later in Arizona. By the time Arizona officers got involved, she was nowhere to be found. True crime correspondent Brianna Whitney has been following this and has more.
For the first time, we're hearing 26-year-old Amanda Nenigar's voice when she called police on February 27th after getting stuck in a ditch.
What do you see around you? Do you see just fields? Is that all you see?
Well, I'm like kind of stuck in a valley. Yeah, I see just a lot of mountains.
Amanda lives in Blythe, California, and during parts of the call with California Highway Patrol, you hear her giving location coordinates to the dispatcher and describing the area.
I'm to like a high mountain and I'm wearing pink.
Okay, so you're on Highway 78, you think, and then what would be the nearest cross street?
I'm not sure. I see a field.
I'm trying to get a location on you, but I'm not getting one.
Amanda Nenigar was reported missing the next day on February 28th after family couldn't get a hold of her and nobody had seen her. On March 7th, the La Paz County Sheriff's Office tells us they officially found her car after searchers discovered it in a remote desert area near Cibola, Arizona. The rear wheels were on top of a boulder when it was found.
She's never been out in that part of the desert ever. It's not a familiar area for her to go.
Her sister, Marissa Nenigar, is frustrated after what she's learned. Once the La Paz County Sheriff's Office got involved, they were eventually made aware of Amanda's 911 call the day before she was reported missing. They were told the California officer was confused where Amanda was by the descriptions she gave and ended up looking for her along Highway 95, a good 30 to 40 miles away. But when Arizona deputies heard the 911 call, they followed the coordinates Amanda gave and ended up just a mile and a half from where her car was found.
I don't know why they didn't transfer her to dispatch in Arizona. She gave them her exact location and someone could have went and got her. They could have found her.
Marissa says there's been no trace of Amanda ever since, and none of her belongings were in the car.
Her phone goes straight to voicemail. Different people have tried calling her because maybe, I don't know, she wanted to disappear and she blocked everyone. But no, that's not the case. Her phone is going directly to voicemail.
The longer time goes on, the more dire Amanda's family knows the search and situation becomes.
What if she's being human trafficked, you know, like what if somebody kidnapped her? We just want to know that she's okay. We want her to come home.
The La Paz County Sheriff's Office says they've been searching the area near those coordinates Amanda gave on the 911 call, most recently by drones, but they've also used helicopters, boots on the ground, off-road vehicles, and
Okay. So that's the quick overview here. And it sounded like Amanda, she did everything that she could to help law enforcement find her. And if you can hear her voice, she's clear. She's saying, "Nope. I'm not quite sure where I'm at. Like, I'm doing my best to explain it to you. I've given you my coordinates. What more can you do than give somebody your coordinates?" That is the absolute most that you could do. And I think her sister, I think they're still out there searching. I don't know if this is a good Cash App or not. I know there was some iffy GoFundMe stuff going around, but I think this is the verifiable one here. All funds sent to this Cash App are going towards Find Amanda organization, gas, banners, flyers, etc. Thank you guys for your donations. And there is a push, but it's not huge. So if you guys want to help, that'd be a good way right there. Okay, and I'll go over some of the things that I found while kind of browsing the Facebook. Then I'll give you guys my opinions of what I think is going on. So we'll start here. This is from Jamie McBroom. Her car was found out by Chabala. Is it Savala? By Heartmine. 911 call was taken by the CHP dispatch on February 27th. Okay, so she was reported missing on the 28th, but she actually was calling for help on the 27th. Out of El Centro, I was told that the helicopter searched for her and couldn't find her car. I don't think anybody really searched for her for a few days after the 911 call. So today is March 13th. Geez, it's been quite some time, guys. I don't know what happened to Amanda. All I know is she hasn't been heard from since the 911 call. Amanda's car has been found off of Heartmine Road just outside of Savala. 4x4s and quads needed. It's basically a Jeep trail. That's why she got stuck. Here's the coordinates for anybody. And I'll give you some more accurate ones, but you can find it with that here. Molly, good to see you. Intuition, do you know what the temperatures were like on the days she disappeared? February 27th? No. I'm sure we can look that up. Nicole, so far you're saying the right things. Give me a few minutes to do my patient rounds, and I'll call and I'll do my best to answer your questions. All right. Thank you. So this is the CCTV footage from, I believe, just before she went missing. She was staying at a hotel, I believe, in Blythe. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but I believe she was staying in Blythe. And it appears she's leaving around 4 a.m. My understanding is she has family and friends. Blythe is right on the other side of the border of Arizona, and I believe she has family or friends right across the border in Arizona. So it being so early in the morning, she may have just gotten turned around, maybe. Yeah, we're going to go try to help Farmer. We're trying to move some things around. We both work from home. It's just more about what's going on with the kids. Okay. So yeah, I believe it was the Comfort Suites. And this would have been her path out here. Well, this is to the Trigo Mountains, but I think she's more in this region here. And we'll take a closer look as well. This is from Amy Cornick. Update on Amanda missing person. Tomorrow, nobody is to go to the search site. I repeat, nobody is to go to the search site. They will be having the cadaver dogs out there tomorrow, and nothing needs to interfere with that. Please, going to be law enforcement only. I really appreciate all the help of the volunteers. This is a sad situation, but you want to look at the positives, right? Met some pretty amazing people, the volunteers to help other people, selfless, people caring, people dedicated, people, and I guess that's a pretty good positive. So it looks like they did have cadaver dogs out there. It's a good thing they didn't pick up on anything. So that leads me to believe more that she made it to the road, to the main road. I think it's important we find out who travels that road around 9. Well, if it's 5 miles, she would have to walk. I don't know how long that's going to take her. Maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour. A little over an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours, depending. So there may be a lot of traffic around that time. We have a lot of people camping in that area. There's a place known as the Hippie Hole, not too far between the Hippie Hole and where I believe she made it to the road. There's all kinds of camping areas. My dad and I were out there. Also, Maricopa sheriffs and their volunteers had 3 dogs out there that could not get a scent on her because she's not dead or rain washed the smell. So it's good that they do have the dogs out there. Let me go ahead and pull up Google Earth real quick. Okay, now those are the coordinates there. But the ones I listed should bring you right there. Okay, Nicole Garcia says the temperatures, the high 70s and low 50s. Okay, so that's not too bad. Thank you for that. 70s to 50s. Okay, now her vehicle was found right here in this area. And her phone pinged right at this peak, just below this peak. But I'm certain that this is where she was standing when she made the phone call. Yeah, this was the condition of her vehicle. So I don't know what's going on with the window. I don't know if she was living out of her car, if she recently locked herself out, if when they came up on the vehicle that they wanted to get inside and gain access, so they busted out the back window. I'm not quite sure. Now, if you notice this peak right in front of her, I believe that's what she saw. And I think this is where her phone pinged. I believe she climbed right up here somehow. She may have came down the opposite side. But I think she walked up here. There's a little bit of a mesa right here. I mean, what would be the best way to get out of this situation? Maybe shove another rock under this tire? I don't know what you would do. Maybe jack it up onto a bigger rock? Oh, yeah, there's the broken glass right there, so we know it was broken at that time. Must have been family or friends who came across the vehicle. That looks like an inhaler. So I don't know if we can get some details on that. Does she need medical help? This appears to be a note for most likely for Amanda, letting her know, hey, we're looking for you. If you make it back, hey, just hang tight. We'll be back. We're out looking for you now. So there's the glass. So yeah, I don't know if you can help us with those details. Welcome in, Sparky, Hathers. Yeah, Vertigo. That we know that's just not realistic, right? We know it wasn't Bigfoot, it wasn't aliens. It was either health related, purposeful, or a predator. And I'm talking the human predator kind. Trafficking, just somebody who was opportunistic. I believe she made it to the road, in my opinion. Let's pull this back up. I don't know, Farmer. Spreading, share, like and share, talk about the case, make a video about it. Brad is joining the Facebook group. He's been involved in missing persons cases and things as well, so he's a good person to have looking into it. Really, the whole sleuth crew. I'm glad you guys are here. Just catching up on the chat real quick, guys. Mid 70s and low and around 50s as a low. True crime and other stuff. Good to see you. Thank you. Molly says, actually, the weather was very nice. I think it's Savala. For some reason, I feel like I'm not pronouncing that right. Savala, Arizona, for the week she went missing. No rain, highs of mid 70s, lows of mid 50s to low 60s. Farmer says she sounds pretty well informed, this girl talking. I mean, how smart was that? You're like, okay, I'm stuck. What do I need to do? Well, I need to get a better view of my surroundings. This peak was right in front of her. When she called 911, she kind of gave a description. So she would have been able to see all around her. Well, not all around here, but pretty much. So when she looks in this direction, there's nothing there. Here, I think I had some photos I put together. Okay. So her vehicle got stuck right in this area here. In the photographs I was showing you, right in front of her is this peak. And her phone pinged somewhere down here, like right in this area. Or these are the coordinates that she provided. So during the 911 call, she's kind of explaining what she's looking at. She's talking about a field. And she says, I'm kind of stuck in a valley. So she has a good look at where she's at. She's explaining kind of what she's seeing in this direction. And she's also explaining what's in this direction. Now, I think during the 911 call, and I'm not sure because I haven't heard the whole thing, there's some bodies of water through here that are not part of this river here, not part of the Colorado River. It's part of some national wildlife refuge. They kind of flood this area here. Because once they dammed it, it started killing off all the wildlife in this area. So they're making an effort to appease the lost wildlife there. And that's what this whole thing is. It's a big program. So she reported seeing some, I think, like a solar farm. But I believe what she was looking at was this flooded area here reflecting off of the sun. So to me, this is the description she's given, right? So if she can give this description, she knows that that's the direction that she needs to go in. Now, here's the opposite peak, and this is why I know that she wasn't on this peak. Because you can't really see past these mountains here. And if you look in this direction, there's not really too many fields or anything like that, and it's pretty vast. And she would definitely know not to go in that direction. So, I believe they tracked her footprints. Here, this is something else I put together. Okay, so the distance from where her phone pinged back to the main road is just about 5 miles. So by the time she gets here, she's going to be exhausted. Now, I'm very curious to know who is... Now, there's camping all through here, guys. There's people camping out here. I don't know what kind of activities go on out here or why people would be on this road. I'm assuming just for recreation. But because the cadaver dogs didn't pick up anything, and I think they even tracked her footprints in this direction for quite a ways. That really worries me. So either they need to really check this water but I'm more concerned about who is traveling this road. I would say between 10 and 5, wait, maybe 10 and 3 p.m. Maybe even some of the residents that live here should be questioned. But just the sound of her voice and the fact that she was able to make it up on top of that mountaintop, I think she was able to get out of that area. I think she made it to this road here. No, she has family and friends, Molly. I believe that are right across that area there. So let me pull that back up on the map. So now you see Blythe up here. She's not very far from where she was staying. So this is really what she was describing to the 911 operator. This National Wildlife Refuge. So really, I would even talk to the workers. Whoever is out here working, I would question them. Who's in charge of this wildlife area? Because it looks like she went directly in here. Folks who may have been camping in and out of this area. The hippie hole, I think, is like right here somewhere. Yeah, I think she went back out this way. She said, "Hey, the road's not that far. Few miles." And there's people who camp all through here. I think she took this road here. And I'm not sure if this is the right road, but I just feel like that's what she would have done. And jumped back on right here. So really, I think anybody who was traveling on that road, I think between the 27th and the 28th, midday, or at all throughout that day, should probably come forward with information. If you have dash cam or anything, you may have her walking. So I think this is the area that she thought was a solar farm. Bunch of mirrors, but it wasn't. Welcome in, Marie N. Sorry to hear this. Sorry you guys are going through this. Beach Fairy says, yeah, giving your coordinates is pretty precise. I'm confused as to how they couldn't locate that. I don't understand. I mean, it was pretty simple. I punched him in and it took me right to where she was. Did they not do that? This case reminds me a lot of well, I was going to say Melissa Mooney, but I don't think that there's a it didn't sound like she was going through any kind of a mental episode or anything like that. She was very precise and coherent on the phone. She sounded totally fine. I feel like she did everything that she could to help law enforcement find her. I mean, what else can you do? I even feel that she may have been poised to get out of there. I'm not I'm not going to sit here. I can't just sit here in the mountain. I feel like with the know-how that she's already shown us, I think she very well made it to this road up here. This is the very area that she was trying to explain to law enforcement. So I think that's where she would have headed. She would have went in that direction. Okay, let me see if I missed any information. I have a few articles we can look at. And this will help you folks who are just joining us here. This one is by Brianna Whitney in Gray News Staff. 911 call reveals what Amanda Nenigar told police before going missing. A 911 call that a 26-year-old woman made the day that she was reported missing was released Thursday night. Amanda Nenigar, 26, was reported missing on February 28th after her vehicle got stuck in a ditch. She was last seen near the Arizona border in Blythe, California. Listening to parts of the 911 call, she gave dispatchers nearly the exact coordinates where she was stuck off the highway. But that 911 call went to California dispatchers, not Arizona, even though her car ended up being found in Arizona. See, this is the part I don't understand. I'm going to give you my coordinates. Okay. Coordinates. Perfect. That's really all I need to find you. Let me punch these in. Okay. It shows that you're in Arizona. Give me one moment. I'm going to connect you with somebody in Arizona and let them know where you're at. So I'm not quite sure what happened. That initial call mix-up has become a key part of this story. What are you surrounded with? Why are you asking any question when you have the coordinates? Why do I have a feeling that the person that she was talking to didn't know how to look that up? That can't be the case, right? Is that all you see? The dispatcher asked in the call. I'm like kind of in a valley, Nenigar said at one point. Yeah, there's just a lot of mountains. I'm in a valley, I'm on top of a hill, and when I look or on top of a mountain and I see green fields. Here are my coordinates. Well, if you type in the coordinates, you see green fields and a mountain peak. This is a very frustrating story to talk about. I mean, who who was she talking to on the other side of that phone? I digress. Let's see. Okay, so you're on Highway 78, you think. And what would be the nearest cross streets? The dispatcher asked. I don't know. Look at the coordinates, buddy. I'm not sure. I see a field. Really, the only field in that area is right there. There's some more in town, but not really near the mountain like that. I'm trying to get a location on you, but I'm not getting one. What are you trying to get? You mean you're trying to get the coordinates? Was reported missing the next day on February 28th after family couldn't get a hold of her and nobody has seen her. Yeah, that's really frustrating to read that. Yeah, so I guess this is a really popular area. It's called the Hippie Hole, and people just bring their trailers, people who just live in their vans or whatever, travel the country. They'll park right here and they fish in this little hole. But there's also camping all through here in these areas. And you have people living here too. Homes on Katy Lane. Yeah, you might need to question all of these folks. And this is the location where she was found. So I believe she did make it all the way at least to this road. So if you can't find her anywhere in this area, I believe somebody may have picked her up. As scary as a thought that is, this was somebody else posting videos. Her name is Ash Bash. That's her Facebook name. She was part of the group. So shout out to Ash Bash. Credit goes to her. These are her videos. They're short clips. She's been out there helping. So shout out to you. So I'm going to share a couple of your videos here with everybody. See, now the peak right in front of Ash is, I believe, the one that Amanda climbed up here to make the phone call. Notice the sign here. You can verify this on Google Maps, just so you know where you're at. That's how I found the location, was that sign right there. Okay. I think she posted a few more.
This is what she came up, and if you see the rock, there's a bowl. 'Cause 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 'cause
So I have a feeling that I don't know if she ran it over going forward. It looks like the way the ground is disturbed, she may have ran it over going forward. I'm not sure. But I'm wondering if maybe she realized, hey, where am I? This isn't where I want to be. Let me back out and go back out of here. And that's when she hit that rock. So if she did back out, that tells me she already had a direction that she wanted to go and a direction that she knew she had to go.
So where she made her 911 call was way out there, right? And if she
Sorry,
continued
guys.
straight, I want you guys to see what she would see. She says she sees a canal. See the water? She says she sees farmland. There's the farmland. She says she thinks she sees solar, which right now there's a lot of dust because we're about to get a storm. And there is shiny stuff out there that she could be confused thinking that it's solar.
Yep, that's
But
what I
mean,
thought.
this is the terrain out here.
So good
If you guys
job.
haven't been out here and you don't know what she walked or what she drove into, it's just nothing. So this is where we found her footsteps.
Okay, so here's talk of footsteps here.
This is the mountain she climbed up. I'm leaving one of these out here. And I'll show y'all. But it's up here. This is the way she came down. So I'm going up the way she came down. And she went up all the way up there. And this is what she saw. And out there you could see the water and houses and farmlands.
Crazy. Yeah, she had a long walk, but I think she was able to make it. This was from the search. So they are out there. Doesn't look like the numbers are very high. But they are getting organized. That's good. James and Nikki Callahan. My husband and I have been out searching since 10 this morning. We ran into Maricopa County Sheriff as well as a search team of 10 and a few cadaver dogs. Maricopa came up with nothing today on their search and had left my husband and are still looking everywhere we can. So definitely going to be contacting Maricopa County today. See what they have to say. So welcome, Crystal. Once again, I'm sorry you guys are going through this. 63 clocks with the super chat. Thank you. If you are accepting calls, Nicole Garcia would like to call in to answer questions. Thank you. Yes, we are. The link is posted there for you. Let me post the link again because we will be getting out of here in about 15 minutes. But just in case you would like to call, there is the link again. Nicole says Amy Cornig is not a good source. She made a lot of false accusations about Amanda's family. The Find Amanda page has all correct info. Amy Cornig has been MIA since Friday. All of a sudden. Okay. I did see something about that. So you think Find Amanda page. Okay. That's the one I'm a part of. Marie N., we are standing with you and your family. I hope you feel the arms of this entire community around you. We're here. Just let us know what you need. Email me if you can, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And if you lose any of that information, you can go to sleuthintuition.com and you should have my email, my phone number, and some contact info there. Don't mind the webpage, the website. It's under construction right now. Yes, Boston. She did call 911. Let me go over some of the random stuff that I put together. Somebody emailed me yesterday. Oh, before we get into that, let's check out the hotel. I thought I bookmarked it. Guess I didn't. It looks like we do have Nicole calling in. So we have Nicole.
Hello.
Welcoming you in. Welcome, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good. How is everybody? Thanks for being here. The family appreciates everybody watching this and all the help that they've been giving and trying to solve what's gone on. Do you want me to just start kind of going off of what you've been saying,
Yeah.
or do you want to ask me questions?
Just go ahead and say whatever you want to say, what you think needs to be said.
So Amanda is suffering from mental health. She is bipolar. She does have a history of addiction. She had prior been in a rehab facility and signed herself out about 7 to 10 days prior. Made her way to the Blythe area through Palm Springs and Borrego area. She lives out there. So she was going back that way because she had signed herself out of rehab. Not sure of the reason why she signed herself out. There's some hearsay on some things, but I have not talked to the family on if that is the truth. So I won't speak on that. I just know that she signed herself out of a rehab in Menifee, California. She ended up in Blythe, I believe, around the 25th or the 26th. Checked into the hotel, which was provided for her by her boyfriend, who has been out helping search for her. He's from Texas, so he's since gone home.
He's not a suspect or anything?
No, not at all. No, he came to Arizona as soon as he heard of her missing. So, and then, he had provided the payment for the room. We do know that she left the room at 3:44 on the 27th. We're not sure why she left the room. Sleuth, I'm not sure if you've listened to the whole 911 call yet,
No,
but she
I
does
haven't.
state in there that people are chasing her. She may not have sounded like she was on anything, but she was having mental psychoses. On the 25th, when she had stopped for a moment in Anza, there is a place there that has like these metal dinosaurs, and she had spoke with her mom and told her that she felt like she was having an out-of-body experience.
Okay.
So she was not in the right mental state because of everything that was going on with her. I do not know if at the time of the 911 call, if she was high on anything or not. But her need to want to keep going. She mentioned that to the 911 callers. I need to keep going. I need to keep going for my babies. God is good. And the 911 caller on one of the 3 calls is telling her, just stay where you are. When La Paz County Sheriff was finally notified, just so people get a better understanding, Arizona and California are right next to each other, obviously. Cibola is on the Arizona side. The road that she walked to is now in California. So she was literally right on the border of Arizona, California. She made the call to 911 from Cibola, but being so close to the California border, it pinged to El Centro, and El Centro CHP took the original 911 call. He asked her for her coordinates, walked her through how to do that on her phone, and she gave it to him. That's when he discovered, oh, you're not in my jurisdiction. Let me transfer you to Blythe. She was like, no, I don't want to go to Blythe. I don't want to go to Blythe Hospital. Like, don't transfer me there. Prior to her missing, she had a hospital stay in Blythe hospital. She was found riding the city bus over and over and over. And the agent who owns the bus company out there in Blythe was able to get her back off the bus and back to the hospital only like 3 hours after she had been checked out. So unfortunately with Amanda, there's a history with law enforcement and her calling for help or calling for, you know, what they think are unnecessary issues. 100% the Blythe Police Department failed her by not passing on the information that was given to them. Because California and Arizona in this area are so close together, that's what they're supposed to do, is call both sides, like, we'll take care of it, you guys take care of it as well. And they failed to tell the family. I'm sorry, to pass the call on. On the 3rd, when the strangers found her car and reported that info to Blythe PD, they didn't follow through and send it to La Paz County, knowing that the car was in Cibola. All they had to do was pass the buck to La Paz, and they did not. That stranger was able to locate Amanda's family online and told them, hey, we found her car, turn that info into Blythe Police. And I quote from what family members have told me, they told that person, well, when you find an arm or a leg, let us know. And that was that. That person then went and found Amanda's, I believe, mother and was like, hey, we found a family member, you know, your daughter's car here. And then the family went and discovered the car. The family had to lead La Paz County Sheriff's to where the car was. And that's when everything started taking place. And that literally was not until like the beginning of last week, end of the week before, is when they went out, did the search, brought their cadaver dogs. Like they literally spent maybe 3 days on this, and they didn't give very much effort. The cadaver dogs were there for an hour. They searched up and down a wash, and then they left.
Do you feel like they're being dismissive because of
Yes,
like the
very
mental
dismissive.
issues?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the part that really gets to me, and that's why we do what we do.
Unfortunately, very dismissive, and it's sad because it doesn't matter who her family is or what issues she has. Every call should be taken seriously, whether it's, you know, a crying wolf or not. Amanda's loved. Amanda's a mother. She's a human being, and just because she has mental issues and you know, drug addiction issues does not mean she should have been swept under the rug. She could have been found very easily if Blythe didn't just sit on it like they did. It took people like us to get a hold of the family. Family gets a hold of, you know, Arizona law enforcement, and they go out and do the best that they can. I mean, there had been a little bit of weather between the time that they showed up and the time that Amanda got her car stuck on that rock. So the cadaver dogs didn't really pick anything up because the rain, you know, washed the scent away. The sheriff is the one that actually tracked the coordinates to the top of that mountain and found her footprints, and they followed it to the road.
The main road.
Cibola Lake Road, but that road runs into the 78 out there. It's very out in the middle of nowhere. So like you were saying earlier, how anybody traveling on that road, you know, if you saw anything, it's not a highly traveled road unless you live out there or you know it's out there.
What time do they think she made it to the road?
So what we're thinking is she left, you know, the hotel on the 27th around 3:45. Okay. She did go to, I believe she did go to Jack in the Box and get something to drink and eat, I believe.
Anything strange there?
I'm sorry?
Anything strange reported there?
Well, the receipt to that transaction was found in the desert yesterday by Ashley, or Ash Bash, the one that posted all the videos. That's who is the backbone of this whole Find Amanda page and the search operation. That woman deserves high kudos. She has she's taken her time, her money, her blood, sweat, tears to help the family. The sister, one of the sisters lives all the way in Hawaii and is doing her best to help. You know, the aunt lives far away in Tucson. That's Crystal. Unfortunately, she's nonverbal. She had a medical condition a few years back, so she can't talk fully to be understood. So with her permission, that's what I'm doing here today. But Ash Bash has been a godsend in this for the family. Personally has been out there doing it on her own and maintains a family of 7 kids and a husband, all while doing it. But they found a receipt out there from Jack in the Box. And so last night she was trying to verify with mom if there were any other receipts in Amanda's car that had the ending of the card that was used. Also, the car was towed back to Amanda's grandpa's house. The cops had no interest in anything. They just have not really been proactive, in my opinion. They're just like, oh, well, she's gone. We looked. Bye. There's
So
no angst from them to try to solve this. And personally, I feel it's because of who her family is and what her background is out there.
We can't always depend on them, you know.
No.
That's just the way it is, unfortunately, and it's
Yes,
going to
unfortunately,
take a group effort.
that is true.
Why? So there could be no real rhyme or reason to where she might be at this point in time. She's running from Blythe.
None at all. She's running from someone or something. She
Like
did
an
say on the
imaginary
911
thing.
call. I
Like
haven't
an
got to listen to
imaginary.
it yet. I actually just received it from her aunt this morning, so I haven't got to sit down and listen to the whole thing. But she was stating in the 911 call that she was running. Guys were chasing her. That could be true. That could be psychosis. You know, it's an array of things. There's so many pieces of information, but they're not being brought together because, well, we're just regular humans, to be honest. Like, Ashley has done amazing things to find out information on the whereabouts of her. I mean, she went as far as posting her being missing in Borrego Springs Facebook pages, and that's how we found out that she had stopped and spoke to a family in Anza for 5 hours. The cops didn't try to do that.
That's great work.
We all say too, the coordinates. I don't understand if you had the coordinates, how come you weren't out there? I mean, she was on the phone for an hour in the area. I mean, one phone call, you get a helicopter up there and you go look for her. They state that they did, but we don't believe that they did because it was broad daylight when she called. We believe that when she left the hotel early morning on the 27th, it was still dark. She was driving herself, I believe, back the way she came from. And when you're out there on the 78 out of Blythe, begins as Neighbors Boulevard, and then it turns into Cibola Lake Road. If you don't follow the turn, you end up on we call it a dirt road. It's paved, but it's not very well. And then you end up out there towards Cibola, and then she veered off into the trail that she ended up on. She drove her car all the way out there. And I know some of you were asking, well, did she back up on it? Did she this? Did she that? No, she drove herself onto that
Right
car.
over the top of it.
Yeah, we believe that's where I crashed my car into a ditch. It was dark when I started driving. I passed out. When I woke up, it was daylight. I think I've been here for 2 days. So we're just piecing it together and assuming that's how that went down. She states she hit her head.
So she was there for a while before she was asking for help. Let's focus on that part. How long was she out there before she actually called 911?
Well, we're not sure. We see the photo of her leaving the hotel at 3:44 a.m. on the 27th. And then the 911 calls were made between 9 and 10 a.m. that same day.
Yeah, I have.
And then the 28th is when the family reported her missing.
So who got the CCTV footage here?
I believe her family members or her boyfriend was able to get that picture. I believe it came from the family. They went to the Comfort Suites where she had her room. In Blythe, yeah. And I believe that room was purchased for 3 days. She stayed there, just under 2 of the days, and her stuff was left there too. The rest of her belongings were left there too. But it has been said to me through information from the admin from the Find Amanda page that she spent a lot of time in the lobby, stating that she was afraid to be alone in her room because they were coming to get her. Who they is, I don't know.
Does she go hot then cold, like bipolar? She seemed normal on the phone call.
Yes, but she's always in touch with her family. Like she is hot, she is cold, she is, not always making the right decisions, not always, seeing things clearly, but she is always in touch with mom or sister all the time. And as I'm understanding, they kind of have a system with her, like, okay, Amanda, so you're doing good. Please send me your location. Let me know where you're at. And the last few phone calls that they had with her, she was not willing to give up that information. And this is prior to the 27th. So her behavior was a little odd with when she wasn't around them, giving them her location and who she was with. But she mentions a lot that they're chasing her. They're out to get her.
Has she been out there before?
She's from there. We're from that area. We grew up
I mean, the mountain,
in
like
that
those
area.
dirt
So
roads.
her walking 5 miles is nothing. We as kids, we played out in the desert all day. So she's familiar with the terrain, if you will. She, you know, she comes from the McBroom family. They're tough people. And, you know, I don't know if she could survive in the desert this long with nothing. But I do believe she could have made it a good, you know, handful of days out there with you know, with no help. I don't know if someone picked her up. I don't know if I'd like to say she's not dead. I don't feel like she is. I feel like she's somewhere and someone knows something. I don't feel like she's dead out there because they have looked so far out there. They've had drones out there from not law enforcement, but other sources of help have come out with their drones and looked all over the place effortlessly. So,
and if she tells a creep, I don't want to go back. Wherever you're going is where I'm going.
Say again?
It could be like somebody picked her up and where are you going? You know, I can take you wherever. No, I'm going wherever you're going. I don't want to go home.
Right. And that's the part that we're unsure of. There's just a lot of missing pieces that I can only do so much and say so much because I don't, you know, sit there and talk face to face with her mom and mom's, you know, she's very quiet. She's very quaint. It's hard for her to talk about this. So, I'm a talker. So on their behalf, I tell, you know, I say what I know, which has been relayed through the Find Amanda page, talking with her sister, you know, I do communicate with the aunt mainly through messaging, but I can understand her when she talks. So, you know, in my opinion, it's a matter of the law enforcement didn't give a hoot because they profiled her. They were just like, ugh, it's Amanda again. Yep. Doubt she's in any trouble. Next. And that's how this slipped through the cracks.
Seems to be a main ingredient with these cases. Right.
And I mean, we all feel that she's out there with someone somewhere. When I was saying how that Amy Cornog girl is not a good source of information, she goes all over the place. 1 minute she knows Amanda's mom closely. The next minute she doesn't know Amanda's mom. She stated that she has been out there searching. I mean, you can't find it now because she's turned the settings to unsearchable, but she never deleted me, so I can still see the whole page. And it's just back and forth. There's too many inconsistencies in the things that she's saying. She suggests more than once that she's dead. She's in the river. She's even accused the mother of having something to do with this. And then starts a GoFundMe page under the name Amy Anderson. And I call her out on it. She says, oh, supposedly I started a GoFundMe page. I don't even know what that is. She does. Amy Anderson is Amy Cornog, and she's a farce. She's bogus. And when I started calling her on this stuff, excuse my language, she shut that shit down real quick. So I don't think she's ever been talked to. I think she should. I feel like her mouth has ran a lot and said a lot of the same things over and over. And then to accuse the mother of having something to do with it is not cool. To take praise and pump and stamps from something you're not doing. She's making it seem like she's out there every day, helping, searching, funding the search. She's been out there twice. The first time when the family had gone out there prior to law enforcement going along with them. I don't know why they did this, but sometimes people aren't thinking outside the box. They're just thinking, oh, my child's car, let's go see if she's in it. So they went out there prior to law enforcement coming out there with them. And they're the ones that broke the window and obtained access to the car to check if Amanda was in the trunk or, you know, if she'd left anything in there to let them know, you know, this is where I went. And
this is not a good GoFundMe, right? This is not a good GoFundMe. Then.
No, that is not a good GoFundMe because Amy Anderson is a liar, in my opinion, or Amy Cornog, whatever she is. But yeah, that is not, that GoFundMe has been shut down and the people have since been returned their money. Her sister has a Cash App on the Find Amanda page that
This one, right?
that is legit. That is her little sister, Marissa. But she lives in Hawaii, so she's doing the best she can from a remote location. And then, like I said, me and Ash are trying to do the best we can as locals, if you will. I still live a good 2 hours from Blythe. I'm in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. But Ash is there in town doing the best that she can. She's doing mom stuff today, so that's why she couldn't join in. But we've all been
Yeah, I
trying the best
appreciate
that we
that.
can.
We just want to get the facts straight. Was there anything found out there while you guys were searching? Have they found the phone? Is there? Did
No,
they
none of the
find,
phones have not been on since the 911 call. Everything is going to voicemail. And I don't know if I don't know if the phone's been tried to be called lately. And, I would assume by now it's completely dead. But from what her little sister Marissa says, it just goes straight to voicemail. And she's not responded to anybody. And that's not like her. She does have two daughters, and is in contact with the people who have her kids. They have been adopted out to the father's families, but they're always in contact with her. She is always in contact with her children. And even the family of the daughter say, this is not like her to not be calling us, letting us know. There's just a lot of pieces that are out there, and the police not helping question people is crappy. It's just, that's the main thing. There's people that are, know something, or, saw her, the girl in Anza. No one's gone out there, and nobody's contacted her other than Ash to ask, what did you guys talk about? What was her demeanor? The cops haven't really questioned anybody. They just went out there, showed face, and said, we've exhausted all our options. And the family had to get all this rolling. Law enforcement didn't say,
what about
hey,
the phone records?
Say again?
Phone records?
I would believe you. I would think that would have to come from mom. I'm not sure who her phone. I think she had a Cricket phone, so I'm not sure how phone records go with those kind of. I don't know if it was a prepaid phone or with actual Cricket
I think
service.
law enforcement might have to subpoena that,
right?
With the help of the family.
Right. Yeah. That would be something. And again, I think
I'm
the
going to talk to
family is.
Maricopa today, so I'm going to
Say
ask
again?
them about that. I'm going to talk to Maricopa today.
No, it's La Paz County, not Maricopa.
La Paz, because
La Paz County is the county that Cibola is in.
Why was Maricopa out there? I was curious about
because Maricopa had the cadaver dogs.
Okay.
La Paz is a small county out in Arizona, and so their resources are limited. So they piggyback extra resources off of Maricopa. So like La Paz County doesn't have their own set of cadaver dogs. We've got to borrow those from Maricopa, if you will.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else that we might have missed that you want to get out there for the public?
The last thing is we don't know where she was going. We have no idea why she ended up out there. We just assumed she was trying to go back from where she came. And we don't know who was after her. She mentions that a lot. She mentioned, no, I shouldn't say a lot. She mentions that a few times in the 911 call. But then again, she is known to have, see things that aren't there, have out of body experiences. So just that the family is trying the best that they can. I think a little more questions need to be asked to law enforcement, or can we get the footage of all foot traffic in and out of her room? Because if you, actually, I'll have to ask the permission if I can send this to you, but there is a 13-second clip in which that picture came from, of her leaving the hotel, and her door is literally right there by that camera. And for me, I'd be like, I want all the footage. I want to see who came in and out of her room in the times that she was there. It's sad because law enforcement didn't help at all. So things have been tainted. The car was touched prior to law enforcement seeing it. Her items from the room were given to her mom. They were, the room was cleaned up and the items were given to her mom. So it just was really handled very carelessly, in my opinion, by law enforcement. And when someone gives you the coordinates to where they are, they should totally be found. But Blythe PD dropped the ball when the call was transferred to them, and they just sat on it. Even when the people came and said, we found a car in the middle of the desert, this looks weird, they were basically like, huh, okay, well, if you find a dead body, come back. Were the things that were told to people who have no clue what's going on. They just found a car in the middle of the desert, you know?
Yeah, and when you're in trouble, you're supposed to call 911. You depend
And
on
that's
them.
exactly what she did. You guys are right. She did absolutely everything right. And we are pretty baffled on how she was on this call with 911 for an hour and gave coordinates, and nobody, well,
Did she
we
give her
don't think
full
anybody
name
came out and did
during the
anything.
call?
Say
Did she give
again?
her full name? Did she give her full name during the call? Were they able to pull up notes from previous calls and kind of see?
I'm not too sure about that. I haven't, like I said, I haven't listened to the 911 call fully myself, so I'm not sure how it begins or ends for that matter. But I do know, you know, bits and pieces of it from talking to the family, from talking to Ash, and then the clip that they put on the news.
All right, Nicole. Well, I appreciate it. We'll most likely do a follow-up on this case. Me and my wife are trying to get out there this Wednesday if we can move some things around. So we
That would be
might be able to
awesome.
might bump into you guys out there.
Sure.
Is there anything that we may have missed? Anything you want to tell the public? Is there something that you hope that we would just focus in on specifically? Anything that we're not doing that you wish that we would be doing?
I just think there are leads that have been given that aren't being followed up on because of, you know, it's a small town. Retaliation is a mother. He said, she said is a mother. There's some, you know, there's some leads that don't want to be spoke on, that I would rather speak on off a camera, if you will, or off
Okay.
a call. There are some people that I think need to be questioned. That's not happening either. It's like we want answers, but then there's hush hush also, and it's like, okay, well, why is this going on? Like any lead I got, if you know my child was missing, would be handled, or would be, you know, what'd you find out from talking to that person, or, you know, whatever. Hey, law enforcement, are you going to go talk to this person? Like you have a lead. There's speculation. I know they're following these pages and people are putting information on there, and I don't feel like it's being taken seriously. I don't feel like they're looking into these things.
Well, I think the phone records is very important, because if she called 911 and she didn't get help, did she call somebody else and ask for help?
Right. Exactly. And I don't know if those questions are actually being answered. I'm not too sure if mom or sister have tried that, or even knew that they could try that, you know. I feel like the family needs more guidance from people that are going to actually be able to help them and make things happen, because law enforcement doesn't seem to be very interested. Larry Irwin was the sheriff that was out there with them searching, and he did say, you know, I'm going to try to do everything I can in my free time to help with this and keep, you know, pounding the pavement. But it seems like even if you called in with information, they just, I don't know, store it in their memory bank and call it a day.
Yeah, I feel like even if you took them by the hand, they'd be pulling away, not even wanting to go with you.
Exactly. No, exactly. And that's kind of how it happened, getting them out there to the car. They attempted to look for it and was like, oh, we can't find it. And the family was like, okay, wait right there. We'll show you where it's at. And that's when they found the car. The family literally had to hold their hands and show them where it was at.
Well, Nicole, we are out of time, so I want to thank you. Don't give up this fight. And
Nope.
if you need anything from us, you can email me directly at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. We have a pretty good, solid community here. We have cold case detectives. We have retired CSI.
Awesome.
We have some resources. You just let us know how we can help, and we are going to try to be boots on the ground out there, hopefully by Wednesday. So
that would be so great. And I just want to let everybody know to go follow the Facebook page. Find Amanda. Just
the
find
link is
Amanda.
in the description. Is in the description of this video.
Yeah, perfect. That's the page you need to follow, and it has all the info. Like, go rabbit hole on that page, and it'll connect a lot of dots for you, kind of bring you up to par where we are, and then we can roll out from there and hopefully get this solved and bring her home, regardless of her condition. The family wants her home, you know?
Regardless.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Shout out to Nicole for calling in and providing those facts. There was one thing I did want to mention. I received 2 emails about this footage out of Buckeye. the kidnapping footage. Apparently, this is these folks have been identified. So apparently, she wasn't being kidnapped. This is a domestic abuse. I mean, well, technically, it is kidnapping. He should still be charged with kidnapping, if you ask me. But these people have been positively identified, and this was a domestic dispute. So all the folks who have been kind of emailing me about this one, they know who these folks are here. And apparently the young woman is not pressing charges. And I'll go ahead and put the flyer up here before we get out of here. So this is a lot like the Melissa Mooney case. So if you guys want to take a look and try to gain some insight, we did cover that case for True Crime in the Morning a few months back. So if you want to go ahead and take a look, very similar after speaking with Nicole. If you have any information on her whereabouts, contact Blythe Police, 760-922-6111, or La Paz County. I'm not sure. I think that number is in the description of the video. They have a case number here for you. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody who was here to catch the live stream. All the family and friends of Amanda who were here to call in and make sure we're getting these facts straight. Thank you again. And everybody, don't forget to like and most importantly, share this story. Get the information out there. Sometimes we feel helpless, but it doesn't take a whole lot to do that. So until next time, guys, I'll see you again real soon.